Hello YouTube. I just want to give you a quick review on the pz60 34 Husqvarna lawnmower. It is a 2012 model. I bought it under a demo. It was a demo version for the shop, and I bought it with 250 hours. It's a decent machine. You got your blower here. Just to keep in mind, when you get one of these plastic blowers, I was just going with metal. It might last a little bit longer, but this one's plastic. The plastic chute, for some reason, they haven't hopefully they fixed this with the new one, but right there, you see that little tuft of grass? That's a blowout. I actually got a new plastic chute. This is the second one I've gone through in 2 years. You hit a stick or something like that, it gets in there and breaks that plastic. Gets brittle in the winter time when you're doing yard cleanups, fall cleanups. Best thing about this mower is the pulleys. You know, you got great access to pulley, you got grease fitting right there, and it is very easy for maintenance. You also have, sorry for the mess, I just got done mowing. You have another grease fitting there. Another grease fitting there. There's also grease fittings in here. You just pop this cap off, and you pop this cap off right here, and there's grease fittings in there. They say to do that every 2 oil changes, basically every 100 hours. And there's grease fittings in here for your caster wheels. These caster wheels are heavy duty. I've sat there and been on three tires, and I had one of them up in the air. I've also gone in some deep crevices and stuff like that, and this mower just goes in and out of it like nothing, you know. And this mower does have some wear and tear. This ain't a brand new machine. This has probably 600 hours on it. So, you know, the mower deck is not the best. You know, it's in great condition, but it's still a little wear and tear on it, you know what I mean? So, you know, the only thing I have done was a couple weeks ago I hit a rock. I was mowing in the dark, don't suggest it, and I whacked a rock and effed up 2 more blades. Luckily, the heavy duty cast iron spindles right here, they are amazing. I hit that thing, I was shooting sparks from the blades. It was basically teeter-tottering on that rock until I can cut the blades off and turn the mower off. It did a small dent underneath the mower, and that was about it. You know, you got your brake here, you got your gas capacity on this model, and on models newer is 6 gallons on both sides. The newer ones right here have a gas gauge. Awesome feature. You know, you got your, sorry about this, but you got your hydraulic pumps right here. 2 hydraulic pumps. If one of these go, you're looking at about $1,000 to replace the hydraulic pump. The whole unit on one side is about $1,000 for the part. I just talked to the mechanic and he told me what it was. But the this system, since it's older, is connected on both ends, are one unit. The newer ones are separate. So this is one unit, that's the second unit on the newer ones, the 2018s and stuff. Basically, if you look at 2018 and this model, not too much has changed. They got a little bit better, like I said, they got a better hydraulic system and a bigger motor by 2 horsepower, which I didn't see the big whoop of upgrading for 2 horsepower. The only problem I've had with it was the starter. I had a starter problem and this shitty mechanic. My mechanic did not give me a shit part, and I dealt with that for a year until I found somebody that knew what the hell they were doing with these mowers, and found out that I spent like $2,000 on trying to fix the mower, throwing parts into it. You know, I replaced the switch right there. I have put a new ground in it. I replaced the solenoid right there, the starter, replaced the solenoid again, and they replaced this pig wire right here that little pig wire right there that has the two different colors, the yellow and the white right there. Replaced that too. None of it was the issue. Sat there and gone through the whole wiring, all the wiring. The mechanic went through all the wiring, cleaned all the leads and stuff like that. Wasn't the issue. It was the starter. The starter was junk. But it is a great machine. I've mowed about 3 acres and weed whack in 2 hours. Mowing by itself, about an hour for 3 acres. It takes a little time for the weed whacking too. But the bagger right there holds, it's 3 bags, and it holds 15 cubic yard, or 15 cubic feet of grass clippings. Or no, excuse me, 15 bushels of grass. Sorry about that. I just worked on it today. I had a problem with it. The bagger unfortunately gets caught right here. These bags right here get caught up on my trailer and push the bag straight down and bend shit like crazy. So I fixed it up. These things right here were all bent up. I have a previous video of that. So I took them apart and refixed them. And basically what happened was right here, as you can see right there, one bolt's bigger than the other. Well, I was trying to straighten this out because it was bent and I broke it. So all I did was, these are about $30. So I just rethreaded this right here, and you know, it's a little shorter, but it still works. You know, if I wanted to sit there and replace that, replace the baggers and the bags, you're looking about $600 for just those parts. This mower is, if you need parts for it, it's not cheap. If you can fabricate them yourself, best part is, like with the bagger and stuff like that, if you can fabricate parts for the bagger, because realistically there's no technical thing with this, it pops off real easily. You just take this right here off, and that right there where my foot is, you just lift that up and the thing comes right out. So realistically, the bagger is a $5,000 accessory, which realistically is overpaid engineers and stuff like that, because half this shit you can make yourself. But you know, it is a great machine. You know, you got your gas tank here, you have your ignition, your timer. My timer's broken for some reason, which you know, if you watch this video, don't buy it from me, because I'm gonna Jew the hell out of you, because this says I got 452 hours, and that does not change. So I'm trying to get that. I'm trying to get this fixed. Get a new timer, which would zero it out. But you got your choke, your throttle, and your blade. You lift it up like this, turns it on, push it down, turns it off. Pretty simple. Right here is your deck height. Let me get that seat down. Right here is your deck height. I have it set, right now it's at top position at 5, but you can go all the way down to, realistically, in a real world situation, about 2. 2 is about 1 inch. This is about an inch off. About a half an inch off, because of the weight of the machine when you're on grass. This thing weighs 1,500 pounds. Whatever you do, do not get stuck in the mud. It is a bitch to get out of the mud. Even with the hydraulics off and stuff like that. I have that truck right there, and it's all that truck can do to pull it out. It's a 2-wheel drive truck, but it's all it can do to pull this thing out in the mud without getting the truck stuck, which I've gotten the truck stuck before. But other than that, it's a real great machine. A lot of safety stuff on this thing. There's a safety switch on the seat. If this is like this and you're not sitting on the seat and the brakes pulled, it'll kill the machine. You can't even start it. If this brake right here, this is your brake, side note about this brake, make sure you adjust the brakes, because the brakes will wear and you could be mowing on a hill. And with the newer model, it's not that bad. With the older model like this, you run out of gas, there's no warning. You just bleh, you run out of gas. And if you're mowing down like a steep hill or something like that, and there's a drop off and you hit your brake and there's no brake, you will go right off the cliff. It's happened to me once. Luckily it was a 2-foot wall, and I was able to stop with half the mower sitting on the teetering on the hill. That was not a fun day. So you know, make sure you adjust your brake. Make sure it's tight. The best way I figured to adjust it is set it on your ramp right here. When you're loading it or what have you, you set it on your ramp, pull the brake. If you start sliding down off your ramp, you need to adjust your brakes. It has a Kohler engine, or no, excuse me, it has a Kawasaki engine, an FX921V Kawasaki. Great motor. Make sure that if you do buy one that's a demo, just go over the machine with the mechanic and make sure that everything's all set, because when I first got the machine, like I said, my mechanic was a piece of shit and didn't know his head from his asshole. Pardon my French. Hopefully you kids aren't watching. But my throttle cable right here, my throttle cable's down here, and my choke cable's over here. My choke cable was halfway on all the time, and my throttle cable was not adjusted. So I was running it at half choke with half throttle. So I got a new choke cable and new throttle cable last year, and ever since then it's worked perfect. And as far as the way the throttle is, that's all the way back right there. It doesn't really look like it, but realistically you go halfway like this, and then, you know, on a cold start you just pull your choke. Thing with the choke is, with these models, pull the choke once you got it started, go to half choke if it's cold outside, and then let it go down. Let it run for 2 or 3 minutes to let the oil warm up, because it's 30 weight oil, and unless you can put 530 in it, but it will burn oil. You can put 1030 in it, but the same thing, will burn oil. The 30 weight oil doesn't burn as much, but it does burn a little bit of oil with these engines. It's just the way they are. But put half throttle like there, and she should fire right up. So yeah, as you can see, she's a good machine. One of the better mowers I've owned, and I'm a small business guy. All I do is residential. I have mowed basic hay fields as high, I kid you not, if you look at this mower with the roll bar over, I have mowed grass at least this high, about right to there. So about a foot above the adjuster, right about there. I have mowed grass that tall with this mower and not had a problem with it. Yeah, I had to mow it twice and then mow it 2 more times to mulch it in, but other than that, it mowed in there great. And you know, 6 feet of grass, not a problem. You know, it you know, the weeds and the high weeds and stuff like that. Even that tree right over there, I've mowed trees down like that thickness, no problem with that, with this mower. You know, you gotta be careful with it, but I have done it before and it's not a problem. The seat adjustment right here, it's nice, but if you got the money and the ka-ching, get the newer model. The seat is way more comfortable. The newer model has an 18-inch back, and with these when you're, you know, doing 13 miles an hour on a bumpy hill or a bumpy landscape, trust me, you beat the shit out of yourself. The newer seats, you can adjust it to your weight. There's no guessing, and you know, it is way easier. The The only things I had to replace with this is I replaced all the pulleys on the deck except for the ones on the caster wheel. So I replaced all, like this guy right here, this guy right here. I replaced the tensioner pulley. And if you notice, you're starting, because I was chewing through belts pretty fast. If you notice you're chewing through belts, one of your pulleys is starting to go. Because this one right here, the bearings went on it and basically went to junk. So, you know, and yeah, it just went to junk, and I said, the hell with it. It's like $400 for new pulleys, and I said, the hell with it. It's going to save me in the long run a bunch of headaches. So I just replaced them all and kept the old ones in case one blows. But if you're wondering what these guys are right here, this and this, those are weights for your bagger. Now, most people don't know this, but if you're not running that bagger, take these things off. Take them right off your mower. You do not need them on your mower if you're not bagging. If you're just size shooting, mulching, or anything like that, take them right off. It will improve your turning and going down steep hills and stuff like that. You won't get stuck as bad trying to reverse up them. So these are the type of blades I like to run. They're Silver Starks. And that's the model number right there. They're a pretty good aggressive blade. They have nice teeth on them. I normally can get about a season of mowing out of it with doing one season of spring cleanup or fall cleanup. This is one of the blades I was telling you about earlier that I sat there and hit a rock. As you can see, it's kind of pretty beaten up, and you can also see that it's not very straight. Not straight at all. So it's really bent, which takes a lot considering this is the thickness of this is 0.25. These blades normally go for $30 each, which there is a good investment. I can show you an old blade. Yeah, this is another blade, another gator blade. It's a lot smaller. It's a 2-inch blade, but it doesn't wear as good. You know, I only got maybe 2 months out of this blade, which you know, it's the one that goes with the mower. Sorry for the view. I'm just reaching down and trying to grab this. There we go. This is one of the sorry about that. This is one of the older blades. As you can see, wore it right down to the model number. Once it gets about this size, I normally just toss them because it's not really doing any good. It's all worn out, as you can see, compared to the other one. So the other thing is too, with the blower, the metal bottom part where the fan blows around, I have one right here. This right here, this hole right here, there's a couple holes right there. It's just wear and tear. You know, I live in New England. We have sand and all sorts of stuff. As you can see, it's kind of worn, a little rusty, but it's one of those things where you're just gonna have to replace it and rebuild it. And you know, it's just part of the game. The other thing is too, right here, I posted a video on that. This is the original right here. The original bar that goes right here. I priced these things out. These are about $30 each for just one of these. Like that support bar right there. They're about $30. I built that myself, and I have a video of that. It's way cheaper, like I said, it's way cheaper to build it yourself. And if you want to paint your machine, which I have, that's why the Husqvarna is not silver. you know, I just went ahead and just sprayed this area to keep it from rusting and stuff like that, because it's going to wear. As you can see, there's little metal spots right here already showing. That's just from jumping in and out of the machine with my feet. And same thing over here. You see the little wear spots, and I painted this right here, down here, but you can see there's a little bit of stuff down there. But you can buy the paint at Lowe's, Husqvarna color, for like $7 or $8. It's real cheap, but it's the same colors what Husqvarna has, what they paint in the machine, and you can sit there and wash her up, paint her all up, and make her look beautiful. Again, look at make it look like it's brand new. But that's pretty much a wrap up of what it is. Another thing I purchased was new tires, because the old ones were dry rotted when I got the machine. The tires are okay, you know, as long as it's not super wet or super muddy or anything like that. I have gotten this thing stuck up to here before in the mud, and it's not fun. So best word of advice, don't get your 1,500 pound machine stuck in the mud. But I'm gonna wrap this up. If you enjoyed this video, throw a like on it. If not, sorry you wasted your time. But you know, keep on mowing, and you know, get yourself a couple nice properties. You know, just to give you a reference, this is my lawn right here. I got one of the greenest lawns in my neighborhood. I cut my grass at 5 inches, and I let it grow to about what that is right there. It's about a foot. I didn't do the weed whacking yet, but I let it grow to about a foot before I cut it. And that way I can let it overseed again, because grass will seed itself. And you know, I plow, and I have a wood pile right over there, and I plow this area, and I turf the lawn, as you can see. So if you can, you know, if you're a cheap person like me and don't want to spend the money on grass seed, you know, let your lawn grow out, let it go to seed, mulch it in, do it about 3 times during the springtime, and you can have a beautiful lawn like this. So I'm out. Thanks for watching. You have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys later.